Now, according to the Pew Research Center, young adults are becoming less religious across the United States. Despite what the statistics say, nuns at the House of Dominican Sisters say religion will forever live on, even if it's in different forms.
Right now, there are 42,000 nuns here in the United States, and they expect that number to go down to like 1,000 in 2043. More young people or less young people are joining. What would you say to motivate young people to take up the cause and the commitment like you both have?
What I would say, first of all, is I'd encourage young people to be open to how God is calling them. If it's to marriage, if it is to service in whatever way it is, if it's vowed religious life, or if it's in a secular way. God calls us all in very different ways. So if a person is true to their relationship to God and open to how they're being called by the Spirit, that's the goal. The goal is not necessarily to get more sisters for the Houston Dominicans or for the church. It's to call more and more people to holiness. However God calls them individually.
But it's not disturbing to you that the numbers are dwindling and people are not, young females are not committing to
Actually, I wouldn't say disturbing, because I see so many good, vibrant things happening with young people. The work that they're doing, their interest in climate change, their interest in social justice, these are all good, holy pursuits. God seems to be doing something different. There will always be young people who are interested in pursuing gospel values, but it may not be in religious life. Now, there is also a sadness that a way of life that I cherish won't continue in the way it is now into the future, but that means that there'll be an opening to some new way that people will find, this next generation of people will find, to be committed Catholic women in the church for the future.
So, Cecile, are you that optimistic about it?
Yeah. I really am. I think basically because when I entered, I entered later in life, and it was at a time when people were looking at what is religious life going to be in the future. And I remember saying to one of the sisters I was living with at the time, how can I talk about religious life in the future when I'm trying to figure out what it's like for me today? But I do think that when you look historically at religious life, and as Linda said, I think the important thing is for people of God, and even the people who claim not to be of God but still live the gospel values. I think that's the important thing, is how we treat one another and what we're doing for one another so that everybody can be live to their full potential.
Do you have any concerns that this life, this profession, it's also a profession, will soon disappear or could disappear?
I'm not sure it will completely disappear. It will change. It will be different than what we know it, but we live differently than some of our older sisters, lived when they first entered the community.
And how is that? Give us an example. They lived
differently than the women did who started the orders. Well, for one thing, they lived in convents, they wore habits, they ministered within the schools, and they lived lived mostly at the schools or were transported back and forth to the schools. When I entered, I was working in healthcare. I continued to work in healthcare until I was called to do community service. I don't wear a habit. I've never worn a habit. I wear the clothes that are fitting for the day for my ministry. If I'm out, at a march, I'm not going to be dressed in a habit. I'm going to be wearing comfortable.
Do you own a habit?
No, I don't. Well, I own some habits, but none.
What will you say to a young person who may be straddling the fence right now, trying to decide if this is a commitment I want for the rest of my life? And both of you can answer that. Well,
as Linda said, the first step was to move into and live in community. That was our commitment. I think the same for her. But I came and I lived with the sisters. And then the next step was to make a commitment to go to the novitiate. And I went to the novitiate, and I lived with other Dominican sisters as well as other people exploring religious life. And then I came back and I continued my education, but it was a 7-year process. The first thing was the first commitment after the novitiate was to make vows for 1 year. And then to renew them the next year, and then the next year, and then finally to make, a commitment for life.
Sister Linda, she said, try it before you buy it.
That's actually built into the structure. It's kind of like being engaged before you can be married. So it's kind of like for religious, it's by law, by church law, a long process, so that you know what you're getting into before you say forever. So that's just like part of the way the process always works anyway. But I would invite young people or older people who are curious about or felt they had a calling to Dominican life to come talk to us, because I would love to have another sister, but it would have to be a sister who is fully aware of what we're about now, not what we were about 50 years ago. And then if this is not the right Dominican congregation, perhaps there's a different one that she would be a better fit for. So yeah, I'd say come. I would love to have more sisters. Absolutely, I encourage vocations to continue to come to us. But then to see if this is really where God is calling, and if what their desires are match ours. And if not, we'll help them find the place that is.